Previously on MindFeed. In the previous lesson, we have discussed the definitions of philosophy as the term itself and how it was defined on different fields and disciplines. We found out that philosophy is a particular set of ideas and described as love of wisdom. And for the second part of our discussion, we are now going to classify the different branches of philosophy. There are many branches of philosophy that has been studied through the years, but for this video, we will focus on the main 5 branches of philosophy, namely metaphysics for the study of existence, ethics for the study of actions, epistemology for knowledge, logic for arguments, and aesthetics, which focuses on art. Let's define the 5 main branches of philosophy. Let's start our discussion in metaphysics, which is the study of existence. Metaphysics is the first principle of things, to know what is real. The Greek philosopher Thales once cited, "Everything is water." What Thales means was the idea of reality. The term water signifies reality, a philosophical element that we see every day. Things that can be seen not only by the eyes, but also by the mind. As thoughts flow in everyone's mind, we can explain more clearly how reality is essential in everyday existence. For Plato, reality in fact is just the opposite. It is unchanging, eternal, immaterial, and can be detected only by the intellect. Now, let us now proceed at the second branch of philosophy, the study of actions, also known as ethics. Ethics is the study of the nature of moral judgments. Philosophical ethics attempts to provide an account of our fundamental ethical ideas. The best example in ethics is the role of religion, in which it teaches us to distinguish what is right and what is wrong. Discipline could be ethical too. The Greek philosopher Socrates once said, "To be happy, a person has to live a virtuous life." He added that true knowledge means wisdom, which means virtue. In the citation given by Socrates, virtue makes people contented and satisfied in his or her actions. It makes us more wise and knowledgeable enough to validate one's action. The term virtue was actually derived from the Greek word arete, which also derived from Ares or Mars, the god of war. It connotates machismo or manliness that signifies courage. William Edward Burghardt Dubois raised the problem of the Negro, which he considered himself as part of the problem, for the reason that his mother came from a lineage of Western African slaves. Therefore, he wanted equal rights for the blacks, wherein they must assert themselves in the African American community. He puts his ideas into political action and helped organize various initiatives for the advancement of the colored people. He also published researches and taught in Atlanta University. The overall idea in Dubois' proposition is the action on fighting what's best for one society by making a stand and being a person of true values despite of social status. In the problem of the Negro proposed by Dubois, there are 2 particular symbols, a white circle and a black triangle. The white circle symbolizes the thesis, which depicts the white oppression. On the other hand, the black triangle signifies the antithesis or the black soul, signifying the black's dignity and values. If these 2 are being combined together, it becomes the synthesis or black's consciousness. Let us now proceed on the third branch of philosophy, the study of knowledge, epistemology. Epistemology deals with nature, sources, limitations, and validity of knowledge. This branch of philosophy explains what our mind really needs, its is no other than knowledge itself. Epistemology explains the following questions. First, how we know what we claim to know, or the things that we already know. Secondly, how we can find out what we wish to know, or the things that we need to learn more. And for the third, how we can differentiate truth from falsehood. It's just like, what is the most essential knowledge that we need, or what is the most accurate knowledge that we need to claim. On the other hand, epistemology addresses varied problems as well, such as the reliability, extent, and kinds of knowledge, truth, language, and even science and scientific knowledge, which means people sometimes are getting confused to acquire so much knowledgeable ideas. Now, the question is this: how do we acquire reliable knowledge? On the one hand, he sees, hears, and touches. On the other hand, he organizes in his mind what he learns through the senses. Our five senses play a vital role to acquire more knowledge by touching, seeing, hearing, and even smelling. And secondly, other philosophers think it is more important to find a general law according to which particular facts can be understood or judged, which we talk about deduction. At this point, let's talk about the idea of Mary Wollstonecraft. Mary Wollstonecraft envisioned an education for women. In her work, A Vindication of the Rights of Women in 1792, she dictated that women were to be more than just wives and caretakers. They were to educate children and to act not as slaves to their husbands, but as companions. Wollstonecraft had well explained that women have the right to acknowledge as well. Women deserve to learn, to be educated, and to show what they can for the society where they belong. As what it said, to be companions. They were not just slaves and they were not just wives, but an ally to their husband, to assist and even to guide their for the fourth branch of philosophy. Here goes logic, the study of reasoning. Reasoning is a concern of a logician. It could be science or medicine, ethics, law, politics, commerce, sports, and games, and in the mundane affairs of everyday living. Logic has been derived from the Greek word logike, which means reasoning. The said etymology has been developed by Zeno the Stoic. The said etymology is being defined as treatise on matters pertaining on human thought. Even some of the plainest or simplest topic could be also considered as logical, due to its argumentative flow and discussion. Aristotle was actually the Greek philosopher who first devised a logical method. And here are the methods that are being developed by Aristotle under logic. He drew upon the emphasis on the universal in Socrates, negation in Parmenides and Plato, and the reduction to the reduction of Zeno of Elea. His philosophy is based on claims about propositional structure and the body of argumentative techniques, for example, logical reasoning and geometrical proof. Understood truth to mean the agreement of knowledge with reality. Truth exists when the mind's mental representations, otherwise known as ideas, corresponds with things in the objective world. Zeno of Citium, also known as Zeno the Stoic, was actually a successor of Aristotle and the founder of Stoicism. Stoicism has also its etymology, which has been derived from the Greek word poikile, or painted porch. As long as people think, reasoning is relevant. As long as you have knowledge, arguments might come out from nowhere. And now, for the last branch of philosophy, let's enter the world of aesthetics, better known as the study of art. Aesthetics was actually the criteria of beauty. It is the science of the beautiful in its various manifestations. It could be sublime, comic, pathetic, tragic, or even ugly. Art doesn't only exist in paintings, but also in talents, writings, and even infrastructures. As long as you see its appreciative form, here are some of the importance of aesthetics that we need to remember. It vitalizes our knowledge, it helps to live more deeply and richly, and it brings us in touch with our culture. German philosopher Hans-Georg Gadamer argued that our tastes and judgments regarding beauty work in connection with one's own personal experience and culture. He also believes that our culture consists of the values and beliefs of our time and our society. In the philosophical perspective of Gadamer, experience and culture is important in aesthetics due to its value and factor that helps people to appreciate its essence. Giving perspective in such artwork and cultural belief could be another form of philosophy. And before we totally end our video discussion, here are the activities that need to be done. First, you have to complete the action table and write your answer in the answer sheet. Alongside with it, answer the following questions. And last but not the least, you should make a video blog wherein your reflections are included under the topic. Broadening your perspective can be life-enhancing. And here are the following rubrics. Originality, 5 points. Relevance to the topic, 5 points. Another 5 points for self-reflection, and 5 points for strengthening principle, with a total of 20 points. To submit that output, here is the link. And these are the 5 main branches of philosophy. Next episode, we are going to discuss and differentiate Eastern and Western philosophy. That's all for now, and thanks for learning. This is MindFeed.